Chapter 1547. You can stand up first. Li Fan felt that this girl was a little crazy. She had probably been brainwashed by Linluo's worship. Nova, stand up first. Show Junshong what you've got. Linluo seemed to be showing off his most perfect work of art. Nova nodded and stood up. Nova was of Russian descent, which could be seen from her height. She was over 1.7 meters tall. She was very tall. She took off her cloak and revealed her face. A beautiful girl with golden braids stood in front of Li Fan. She had a pair of blue eyes and sexy lips. Nova also had an excellent figure. She was wearing a battle dress. Her upper body was covered in light armor, and her lower body was covered in a short black skirt. The forbidden area under the skirt was extremely alluring. Below the skirt was a pair of long, fair legs. Her knees and calves were covered in protective gear. Like the previous Valkyries, Nova's weapon of choice was a broadsword and a round shield. Now that Nova was standing in front of him, she exuded the aura of a goddess. Li Fan couldn't help but steal a few glances at her. Junshong. Liu Zhu noticed that Li Fan was distracted and whispered in his ear. Ahem. Li Fan coughed dryly. Something was wrong. This was the first day they met, but he was already staring at her like a virgin. Those who didn't know better would think that he was a pervert. It would affect his glorious image as a gentleman. Well, I'm just observing what Nova's superpower is. That's easy. Linluo picked up a gun and fired at Nova's forehead. Clang. The bullet grazed Nova's forehead, creating sparks as it flew away. What the hell? Li Fan was stunned. Copper skin and iron bones. Even he wouldn't dare to say that he could block a bullet with his body. If he relied on his inner force, he could still do it. The human body was very fragile, unless one was like that fellow Subhuti, who had trained in the invincible Vajra body and had infused his internal energy into every inch of his flesh and blood. Yes, her ability is copper skin and iron bones. Linluo nodded. She can control this ability, activate and deactivate it. However, she wasn't this strong in the past. I helped her catalyze it a little, allowing her to reach her current level. As he spoke, Linluo clapped his hands. Nova turned around and revealed her jade-like neck. Li Fan saw a diamond-shaped chip embedded there. This is my modified version of the dragon chip. I call it the Dragon God chip. Linluo explained, the Dragon God chip can stimulate a person's potential, and is divided into 10 levels. We know that a person's strength can actually be very powerful. However, if it exceeded the body's endurance, it would cause terrible consequences to the body. For example, this brick. Linluo picked up a brick. If it were me, with my physical strength, I would need a certain amount of strength to break this brick. However, my brain controls my strength, and it constantly warns me that my body can't fight against a brick. However, with the Dragon God chip, it can increase the limits of my physical strength. Linluo pointed at his neck. He had also installed a Dragon God chip on himself. The Dragon God chip can unlock the security of my brain. At the same time, it can stimulate my potential, allowing me to increase my strength. If I want to break this kind of brick, I only need to stimulate the power of the second level, and that will be enough. As he spoke, Linluo smashed the brick with his palm. However, his palm was slightly red and swollen. It was obvious that he had been injured. However, as you can see, without protection, I would have to bear a lot of pain due to how much strength I used. Now, my palm is fractured. Damn, do you have to be so desperate? Li Fan was convinced. Don't worry, I have a summoned beast. Linluo took out a card, and the angel flapping its wings appeared beside him again. At the same time, it gently held Linluo's injured hand. A white light shone from where their palms met. Soon, Linluo withdrew his hand and clenched his fist. Li Fan was a little dumbfounded. This really was an angel. It even had healing abilities. However, Nova is an exception. She has the strongest innate talent, copper skin and iron bones. Therefore, even if the Dragon God chip is activated to the 10th level, it won't hurt her at all. Linluo was suddenly a little excited. Boss, tell me, isn't she my most perfect creation? With the power that she has now activated, she can completely rival a semi-saint. In other words, she has the same strength as me. Li Fan was a little skeptical. He had painstakingly trained up his strength, but the other party just nurtured it. This was too much of a pain in the ass. Naturally, she can't compare to you in terms of realm, but in terms of strength, Nova isn't bad. Bai Lin Luo was very confident. Why don't the two of you give it a try? Sure. Li Fan agreed readily, but Nova knelt on the ground again, crushing another piece of the ground. My lord, Nova wouldn't dare. Nova's expression was one of panic. Nova is your sword, your shield. How could I hurt you? I'm just trying. Don't be afraid. Li Fan laughed. I'm not made of porcelain that will shatter at the slightest touch. Come, I want to see how strong you are. Whoosh. Nova unsheathed her sword and handed it to Li Fan. If you want my life, you can take it any time, Nova said righteously. But I definitely won't do anything to you. If you continue to force me, then I can only stab myself in the heart. Alright then, this girl, she's really stubborn. Ahem, her legs are pretty good too. Then let's try again in the future. Bai Lin Luo said. There's no rush. Saying so, he looked at the time. It's almost time to meet the foreign ambassadors. Let's go meet those brothers first. Don't let them wait too long and say that we're rude. Okay, let's go. Although he didn't want to meet them, Li Fan knew what his identity represented. Thus, he could only follow Bai Lin Luo and walk outside. Are we going to wait for them here? Li Fan asked when he saw that they hadn't left the military base. Yeah, they're here to buy weapons after all. Naturally, they have to come here. Bai Lin Luo nodded. Moreover, our military equipment is also here. This time, we have to open the eyes of our foreign friends. In the end, when Li Fan and the others arrived, they were notified. Sorry, the 3 ambassadors haven't arrived yet. An American secretary stood in front of them and said, the ambassadors have just arrived and are not used to the climate here. Their bodies aren't feeling too well, so they woke up a little late. They should be waking up soon. Chapter 1548. Oh, then just let them continue to sleep. Li Fan laughed and waved his hand. Wait for them to arrive on time next time, then come and buy the things. As he spoke, Li Fan turned around and instructed Bai Lin Luo, Chief, there are still a lot of things to do. Hurry up and get to work. In the future, just leave the selling of equipment to the commander of the armaments zone. Millimeter, all right. Bai Lin Luo nodded and followed behind Li Fan. The two of them left the military base together. The secretary was dumbfounded. Fuck, they're going back just like that. No way, the ambassadors haven't arrived yet, and they haven't shown them their authority yet. However, what kind of person was Li Fan? He left just like that, without giving them any face at all. The 3 ambassadors flew into a rage when they received the secretary's call. They were ambassadors from big countries, and they came all the way here to buy equipment. Li Fan actually stood them up. Unforgivable. The Japanese ambassador was called Okamoto. He was thin and small, only 40 years old. He was balding, and his eyes were gleaming. I strongly protest. I want to condemn them. Okamoto was furious. He went to the custom shop here a few days ago, but the other party did not even give him a discount. Idiots, don't they know he's the ambassador? What a bunch of ignorant fools. Impolite. I say, we should just go back. The master from South Korea was a handsome young man named Lee Ricky. He was dressed in a black suit and said arrogantly, give us some time, and we, the South Koreans, will be able to develop equipment that is even more powerful than theirs. Oh right, who is their developer? Maybe he's also of South Korean descent. I understand what you're thinking. That man called Li Fan is really too much. He actually ignored our authority. The American ambassador was called Fokker. He even ignored the country behind us. This kind of behavior should be condemned. That's right. We must make him apologize. Okamoto shouted harshly with his bald head, we must make him kneel down to us. Otherwise, I will never forgive him. Weak countries have no diplomacy. We should indeed teach this kid a lesson. Lee Riji also agreed with Okamoto. This time, I stand on Mr. Okamoto's side. Thank you for your support. Your country is our most loyal ally. Mr. Okamoto, don't stand on ceremony. Our two countries have always been friendly and cooperative. Moreover, it was indeed the Lee family island that went overboard this time. The two of them tacitly laughed. In the international community, there was a saying that everyone knew: the friendship between China and Japan depends on Korea, the friendship between China and Korea depends on Japan, and the friendship between Japan and Korea depends on China. This sentence fully explained the relationship between the big three of Asia. Usually, when two families wanted to be friendly, they would find a reason to be hostile to a third family. Why else would it be said that there were no eternal enemies or eternal friends, only eternal interests? However, everyone, don't forget that when we came here, our superiors also gave us a mission. Fokker took a deep breath and reminded the two enraged ambassadors in front of him, do you know about the incident where the Lee family attacked the storm mercenaries and wiped them out with 0 casualties? Hi. Okamoto nodded. If it weren't for this, we wouldn't have come to this place to be bullied. That's right. We are ambassadors. It's normal for us to be bullied. Fokker's tone changed. Both Okamoto and Lee Riji were stunned. Mr. Fokker, what do you mean? A little impatience will spoil great plans. Fokker sighed. We are all working for our country. It's okay for us to be bullied. It's okay for us to be bullied, but our country is behind us. Lee Riji disagreed with Fokker. It's not a big deal for us to be bullied, but our country is. I, Lee Riji, will not tolerate Lee Jiadao's behavior. He is disrespecting our country by neglecting us. Yes, I agree with Lee Riji. Okamoto nodded immediately. Lee Riji, I will stand by your side. All right. Since both of you insist, I won't persuade you anymore. Fokker said. I will go buy my own equipment tomorrow. Both of you can go back now. Hey! Both of them were stunned. What was going on? The American ambassador had given in. How were they supposed to deal with this? They had always been following America's lead. Now that America had given in, how could they still be tough? Definitely not. Since Ambassador Fokker is so magnanimous and is willing to forgive him, then I should be more magnanimous too. Okamoto touched his bald head and changed his words. That's right. We have a saying in South Korea. Tolerance is the greatest. Lee Riji said shamelessly. That Lee fan is a despicable person, but we can't lower ourselves to his level. Then let's go buy our equipment together tomorrow. Do you have any objections? Fokker looked at both of them and they nodded at the same time. Fokker thought to himself, thank goodness these two are not that stupid. Lee Jiadao was in high spirits now. There was no need for him to go against them. Although he wanted to put Lee Fan in his place initially, he knew that Lee Fan was a tough nut to crack and would not be easy to deal with. The Lee family island was like a scoundrel, just standing there. They could either suck up to him or fight him. But it was obviously unwise to fight Lee Jiadao. Firstly, Lee Jiadao was a special administrative region of China. They could not touch him. Secondly, Lee Fan. If he got desperate, he could go to America and cause a ruckus. Even the American government could not take it anymore. Therefore, they could only maintain a friendly attitude. So be it if they did not put up a fight. They could just buy their equipment and go back to develop it. Lee Jiadao had started a new era of military equipment. If they did not keep up with the times, America's hegemony would fall. With America's technology, it should be easy for them to crack Lee Jiadao's equipment. All right. That's enough complaining. Go and apologize to Lee Fan tomorrow. Since Fokker had said so, although Okamoto and Lee Riji were unwilling, they had no choice but to accept their fate. This Lee Fan was so capable that even America did not dare to look down on them. That night, the three ambassadors went to the chief executive's house with gifts to apologize. Initially, they wanted to apologize to Lee Fan. However, Lee Fan seemed to have disappeared. They could not find him at all. So, they could only go and beg the chief executive. Since they had apologized, Bai Lin Luo spoke up for them. The next day, Lee Fan finally arrived at the military base. Other than Liu Zhu, who was driving for Lee Fan, the female warrior, Nova, came along as well. As Li Fan's bodyguard, she had to follow Li Fan everywhere. This time, it was the three ambassadors' turn to wait. After waiting for an hour, Li Fan finally arrived. Chapter 1549. My apologies, ambassadors. Li Fan walked down lazily. I'm sorry for waking up late. You're too kind. American Ambassador Fokker was all smiles. It's our honor that Mr. Li could take the time out of his busy schedule to look at the equipment with us. Actually, I stayed up late to watch the match between Real Madrid and Juventus yesterday. My apologies. Yes. I also like to watch football, Fokker said as he wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. I didn't expect the ambassadors to watch football too. It's fate. Watching football is a cultural necessity, Fokker chuckled. But, I like the armaments on Lee Island more. I heard that the Lee family's main weapons are the Kinetic Series, Magnetic Storm Series, and Reaper Series. Our military is very interested in these and hopes to purchase them in bulk. These 3 sets of equipment. That's fine. Li Fan did not say a word. He would let Bai Lin Luo make the decision. Ambassadors, as you know, the Li family's technology is more focused on individual equipment. Bai Lin Luo clapped his hands, and a metal door beside him opened. 3 figures walked out slowly from inside. One of them was wearing a kinetic armor, one was carrying a magnetic storm cannon, and the last one was wearing a Reaper. It's all here. Ambassadors, please purchase it in advance. Bai Lin Luo said. I heard that the combat power of these equipment is good, but it's only effective when used together. The Japanese ambassador began to nitpick. Compared to the Tiger King armor developed by the United States, it's much worse. You're wrong. Bai Lin Luo immediately retorted. Not long ago, we suppressed a terrorist organization called Tempest. They used this set of equipment and were wiped out by us. Also, if you think the Tiger King armor is good, why don't you buy it? Okamoto and Lee Riji did not say a word. The Tiger King armor. That set was too expensive. It would cost too much to arm an entire organization. Chief, tell them the price of these 3 sets of equipment. Li Fan gestured. Kinetic Energy Set, 3. 88 million. Magnetic Storm Set, 2. 88 million. Reapers, 2,990,000. Bai Lin Luo said 3 prices. USD. The 3 ambassadors looked at each other. Fuck, this price is too cheap. How about it, everyone? Do you want to consider it? Bai Lin Luo was like a salesman. Hurry up if you want to buy. This item is not too expensive, but does it really have that kind of combat power? Lee Riji was a little doubtful. It can't be a fabrication, right? I can let you try it. Bai Lin Luo pointed at a row of armored vehicles in the distance. At the same time, he signaled Lee Riji to pick up a kinetic hammer. Those armored vehicles are sturdy enough. Let's use them for the test. How do I use this thing? Lee Riji raised the energy hammer and felt that it was a little light in his hand. It even felt a little unreal. Does this thing really have combat power? Under the guidance of Bai Lin Luo, he swung the energy hammer at the armored vehicle in the distance and smashed it on the ground. Bang! A shockwave immediately spread out. The armored vehicles that were more than 10 meters away were directly bounced up. They flew more than a meter high before landing heavily on the ground. Everyone's eyes were wide open. They did not dare to believe the power of this energy hammer. This thing is so strong. This is a magnetic storm cannon. I will let you guys feel it. Bai Lin Luo signaled them to do as they please. Thus, Lee Riji picked up another magnetic storm cannon. This magnetic storm cannon was not light. Furthermore, it was connected to the electric box. Without strength, one would not be able to carry it. In the end, Lee Riji had no choice but to carry the magnetic storm cannon with Okamoto. They aimed at another armored vehicle and fired. Bluish-purple electric currents shot out and directly hit a few armored vehicles. Those armored vehicles were immediately hit by the magnetic storm and instantly turned into charcoal. Such a powerful might caused the ambassadors to be dumbstruck. Oh, I will have to ask the 2 ambassadors to reimburse me for the cost of these armored vehicles. Li Fan emphasized, we have little land and few people. We are very poor. We cannot afford to be tossed around like this. The 2 ambassadors did not have the time to blame Li Fan for being stingy. They were still shocked by the power of this weapon. The 3rd weapon. I want to try it myself. Actually, Okamoto was most concerned about the Reaper. He heard that this armor does not require a professional soldier to operate it. It only requires a bit of training to use it. In other words, with this set of equipment, even an ordinary person would become a Superman. Sure, but this set of equipment still requires some skills to operate. Bai Lin Luo reminded him, otherwise, it will be dangerous. I am after all from the self-defense forces. This is nothing to me. Okamoto was somewhat impatient. Come, let me try and see how powerful this thing is. With that, Okamoto hurriedly put on the Reaper suit and moved his finger. A mechanical hand immediately popped out and stabbed into the ground. The alloy blade on it directly stabbed into the ground more than 10 centimeters deep. Not bad. Okamoto was a bit excited. This set of armor is indeed very useful. Then, he continued to operate the Reaper and tried to move it. A set of Reaper could indeed turn an ordinary person into a Superman. Okamoto enjoyed the feeling of being powerful, but he did not operate it properly. Suddenly, the Reaper started to move around randomly. Then, it started to wave the mechanical hand around randomly, heading towards Li Fan. Okamoto was scared out of his wits. The more he panicked, the more the Reaper would not listen to him. Okamoto felt like he was playing with a dangerous unicycle. The more he panicked, the more he would lose his balance. If he were to hurt Li Fan, it would be an international diplomatic disaster. Fokker and Li Riji were also scared out of their wits. Oh no! If Li Fan were to get hurt, they would be in big trouble. They would not be able to walk away unscathed. At that moment, Nova, who had been standing at the side for a long time, suddenly stepped forward. She stretched out her hand and grabbed the mechanical arm of the Reaper. Then, with a twist of her waist, she threw the Reaper and Okamoto away. Boom! Okamoto's body slammed into an SUV next to him, flattening it. Oh, remember to ask the Japanese ambassador to compensate for the car. Li Fan expressed again, we are very poor. Everyone wiped the cold sweat off their foreheads. They were happy and shocked at the same time. They were happy that Li Fan was safe, but shocked at the beauty's strength. She could actually tear such a powerful Reaper apart with her bare hands. Oh my God, where did this girl come from? Alright, everyone, let's talk about our business, shall we? Bai Lin Luo saw that some medical personnel had gone to treat Okamoto, so he led the conversation back to the main topic. Although there was a small incident, I think it will not affect our business, right? Chapter 1550. The 3 ambassadors purchased a lot of armaments from Li Fan. South Korea purchased 2,000 kinetic suit sets, 1,000 magnetic storm suit sets, and 500 Reaper sets. Japan was slightly richer and more overbearing. They had purchased 5,000 sets of each item. Of course, the wealthiest country was America, which purchased 10,000 sets of each. To Li Fan, the owner of this small island who had painstakingly managed it, this amount of money was indeed not a small amount. However, these were only the equipment that Li Fan had eliminated. The armaments on their island had been completely renewed, and it was all thanks to the Tiger King armor from America. There are 2 reasons why they brought back the equipment. First, they are unable to break through the defenses, so they can only buy more from us. Liu Zhu reported to Li Fan in the office. After all, the unique chip inside is developed by us, and there are 20,000 password locks. If they want to break through, based on their current computing standards, they will probably need 10 years. Li Family Island's technology was too advanced, and the other countries could not do anything about it. It was said that there was a superbrain mutant in Li Family Island, and it was under his leadership that the Li Family Island's technology level was 10 years ahead of others. Second, our equipment is more advanced. Currently, the White Dragon King mecha trial model has been developed. Liu Zhu pointed outside the window as she spoke. It has been transported here. My lord, Do you want to take a look? Of course I want to take a look. Li Fan was a little excited. The White Dragon King mecha was the focus of the Li family island's development. This mecha was a combination of the Li family island's inherent technology and the White Tiger armor. Li Fan walked to the balcony, opened the door, and looked down at the courtyard. In the yard, a large truck was parked there, carrying a mysterious object covered by a green tarpaulin. My lord. 2 Li family island soldiers stood below. When they saw Li Fan, they immediately saluted. These soldiers were all wearing lightweight exoskeleton armors. These exoskeleton armors were called guards. Through the Dragon God chip, they could enhance the soldiers' combat abilities. Because there weren't many soldiers on Li Family Island, almost every soldier was an elite and was equipped with the guard system. They were also equipped with magnetic storm guns. Although they were weaker than magnetic storm cannons, they were easy to carry and could reduce unnecessary energy consumption. Thank you for your hard work. Li Fan immediately returned the salute, and the 2 soldiers immediately pulled down the top, revealing the lineup of secret weapons inside. As the name suggested, the White Dragon King mech was indeed a set of mech equipment. The mech was more than 5 meters tall and had a smooth metal body. It looked like the mech from the anime. The mech was entirely white, with occasional black embellishments. There were dragon patterns on the body. This is our White Dragon King first generation mech. Liu Zhu stood beside Li Fan. Let's get someone to try. Nova, can you control this thing? Li Fan asked. Jun Shong, I did look through some manuals at night. Nova was very good at using her spare time. Even when she was resting, she would study more combat information in case she couldn't keep up with Li Fan's pace. Then I'll leave it to you. I'm willing to serve. Jun Shong. Nova jumped out of the window on the 2nd floor and landed on the White Dragon mech. A cabin popped out from the back of the mech, and Nova, the beautiful warrior, sat inside. The cabin retracted into the mech, and the eyes on the head of the mech immediately lit up. Standing on the balcony, Li Fan immediately felt a powerful wave emanating from the mech telekinesis. You can see it already, right? Liu Zhu smiled. What drives this mech is nuclear energy and spiritual power. Spiritual power? It can even be used to drive the mech. Yes, this is also a method of control. It's very convenient. Liu Zhu had done her homework in this area. When the pilot enters the mech, it's like playing a virtual reality game. With just a thought, the mech will move according to the pilot's will. Damn, I remember that the neural connection system should be an internationally taboo science. I didn't expect Bai Lin Luo and the others to take a different approach and use this method to connect people's minds. Telekinesis has always been one of the research topics of the Li Family Island. Liu Zhu seemed to be quite proud. It's my honor to be a member of the Li Family Island. Alright, Nova, let's show off the power of this mech. Yes. Just as Nova was about to operate the mech, a shadow suddenly flashed across the sky. Li Fan subconsciously frowned and glanced up. A man in a black coat was descending from the sky and kicking down towards the balcony. Li Fan frowned and almost subconsciously stretched out his hands to block in front of him. Bang! The entire balcony was kicked into pieces. Half of the balcony fell down and billowing smoke and dust rose. A figure pierced through the smoke, and the black figure from before was thrown to the side, smashing into the wall. Only then did it barely stop. Li Fan waved his hand to disperse the smoke and stared at the man in front of him. Controlling her mecha, Nova didn't hesitate at all as she slammed her palm into the wall where the man was embedded. The 5 fingers of the mech were inlaid with kinetic energy devices. With a bang, the wall immediately shattered and a huge palm print was left on the ground. The man in the coat stood in the middle of it, his body emitting black smoke. It's just scrap metal. He slowly raised his head. Seeing this figure, Li Fan and the others were shocked. Standing opposite him was the other Li Fan. Bastard. Li Fan couldn't help but curse. Another clone of mine? I'm number 9. Number 9 stretched her muscles. I understand how you feel. You're unhappy to see an identical copy of yourself, aren't you? Number 9 laughed. Don't worry, I'll set you free soon. From today onwards, There will only be one me in this world. Not necessarily, right? As Li Fan spoke, he suddenly appeared in front of number 9 and used the Yellow Emperor rides the dragon of the 5 Emperor's palms to slap at number 9. Bang! Number 9 simply raised his arm to block Li Fan's palm. At the same time, a powerful blast of energy erupted from behind him, tearing open the ground behind him. Your strength is not bad. Number 9 seemed excited. No wonder it's my original body. However, I'm someone who has killed 8 people like me. My strength is something you won't be able to understand. As he spoke, number 9 grabbed Li Fan's wrist and flung him up. With a shoulder throw, he smashed him onto the ground. Die. Hindrance. Chapter 1551. Li Fan's body slammed heavily into the ground, creating a huge crater. Nova immediately took control of the mech and raised its leg, intending to stomp down on number 9. However, number 9 did not seem to care. He raised his hands and caught the mecha's leg with both hands. I told you, you're just a pile of scrap metal. Scram. Number 9 grabbed the mecha's leg, lifted it up, and threw it far away. Just as the mech was about to hit the ground, its magnetic energy system activated. Combined with the telekinesis system, the mech floated up half a meter from the ground. Nova piloted the White Dragon King and flipped over again. At the same time, she pulled out 2 weapons from her thighs. One of them was a long rod. A kinetic energy field shot out from the rod, forming a kinetic energy shield. The other was an alloy spear, the tip of which was aimed at number 9. Are you trying to scare me with these toys? Number 9 did not care at all. When Nova's spear came down, he reached out and grabbed the spear's tip. Then, using the spear's shaft, he lifted the entire mech above his head. Number 9's strength was too great. Die. Number 9 smashed the mech to the ground again. The cockpit popped out, and Nova jumped out. For a beautiful warrior like Nova, the White Dragon King could not increase her combat power. Instead, it was a kind of restraint. You're not bad looking. Number 9 looked at the beautiful warrior and nodded in satisfaction. You can be my servant. Dream on. Nova was only loyal to Li Fan. Although this number 9 looked exactly like Jun Shong, he was not Jun Shong. The look in their eyes was completely different. Nova picked up her sword and leaped up to a height of more than 5 meters. Then, she descended from the sky and slashed at number 9. The power of this slash was not weak. It carried the power of wind and thunder, but number 9 just stood there, unmoved. He reached out with his right hand and caught Nova's slash single-handedly. Not bad, number 9 praised. You're worthy of being my servant. I told you, dream on. Nova's left shield slammed forward, but number 9 did not budge. Instead, he raised his leg and kicked Nova back 2 steps. Nova. Just as Nova was about to attack again, a hand was placed on her shoulder. Li Fan readjusted his doppelganger and stood next to Nova, looking at number 9 who was on the opposite side. This is a battle between us. Just watch. That's right. I thought you were going to hide behind a woman. Number 9 sneered. Thank you for the compliment. As Li Fan spoke, the inner energy in his body circulated continuously. His gaze was fixed on number 9. Your strength is not bad, but you should learn some martial techniques. My strength can overcome everything. Number 9 crossed her arms, looking at Li Fan with disdain. What bullshit martial skill, I don't need it. Alright, then I'll give you a lesson. Soon, many black scales grew on his body, and his hands and feet also evolved into dragon claws. And from the top of his head, a pair of twisted dragon horns grew. Fuck. Dragon transformation, Li Fan suddenly understood. It turned out that the genes in number 9's body belonged to him after he had devoured a dragon, and it was obvious that the dragon's genes were purer. Perhaps it was because of this that he was so arrogant, violent, and insufferably arrogant. This is a battle between me and him. Everyone else, get out of my way. Roar. Number 9 stomped on the ground and roared at the same time. A wave of sound spread out, crashing into the surroundings and knocking the magnetic storm infantry down from the roof. War Dragon Roar. Li Fan couldn't help but admire this clone that had been bred using his own genes. It was indeed powerful. My lord, let me help you. Nova suddenly jumped over, holding the sword with both hands and slashed at number 9. Chapter 1552. Even though Nova was a girl, she was extremely brave. Even though she was affected by the dragon's roar, she still picked up her sword and jumped over. She slashed down with her sword, ready to split number 9 in half. However, a dragon tail suddenly grew out of number 9's back and lashed out like a whip, hitting Nova and sending her flying. Boom! Nova smashed through the wall of the office on the second floor and fell inside along with the rubble. Weak. Number 9 sneered. You're so weak. You're only fit to be my servant. Me. Li Fan was very unhappy. He was probably going to be suppressed by this guy today. Your death is near. Number 9 looked at Li Fan with an unruly expression. I'll let you die a quick death. Cut the crap. Let's fight. Li Fan stretched out his hand and the White Dragon King's alloy spear suddenly flew up and landed in Li Fan's hand. The spear was at least 6 to 7 meters long, but Li Fan held it like a god. Die. Li Fan swung his great spear down heavily. The great spear split the entire building in half, and then it landed on number 9's head. Good. Number 9 was unmoved. He was even a little excited. Number 9 stretched out his hands and held the spear. He then looked at Li Fan provocatively. You're too weak. As number 9 said that, she lifted the great spear up. Li Fan was still on the other end of the spear. He was lifted more than 7 meters into the air. Number 9 stabbed the spear into the ground. Then, he sprang up along the spear's body and chased after Li Fan. Good. Li Fan roared. He flipped over and used Azure Theater's sea calming technique on number 9. The two collided in mid-air. Their palms collided, producing a powerful force that immediately exploded. Even the alloy spear was bent by the shockwave of the explosion. The people below were shocked to see this. What a terrifying battle. It wasn't something they could intervene in at all. Bang! However, Li Fan's strength was slightly weaker. He was sent flying and smashed into the body of the spear, bending the upper part of the spear once again. His whole body was stuck to it. Hee, goodbye. Number 9 arrived in front of Li Fan again. Then, his dragon claw pierced through Li Fan's chest, dug out his heart, and crushed it in his hand. My lord. Nova's eyes were bloodshot. She wanted to fight for her life. But Liu Zhu suddenly appeared by her side, pressed down on her shoulder, and sealed her acupoints, not allowing her to move. Although Nova's skin was made of copper and bones of iron, his inner force was unimpeded as it entered the acupoints in his body. Liu Zhu's move was aimed at her weak point. Let me go, I'm going to avenge my lord. Don't worry, your lord is fine. Liu Zhu transmitted his voice to Nova. This is just a clone of your lord. That clone doesn't know, so don't say anything. As he spoke, number 9 had already landed. Looking at the blood on his hand, he laughed loudly. I alone am enough. I'm unique. With that, he turned around and left happily. After he left for more than 10 minutes, Li Fan, who was hanging on the spear, suddenly opened his eyes and landed on the ground with both feet. He was a clone. As long as he didn't receive a destructive blow, most injuries would automatically recover by absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. After all, a clone was a form of pure energy, more like Imperial Concubine Ju's form. In just a few minutes, Li Fan had already finished repairing his heart. My lord. Seeing that Li Fan was safe and sound, Nova was so moved that tears flowed down her cheeks. She knelt down in front of Li Fan. My lord, I failed to protect you. My lord, please punish me. You've already done very well. Li Fan waved his hand. It's not your fault, it's that the other party was too strong. Even my clone wasn't his match, so it's enough to show how strong this person is. Li Fan muttered, dragon form, this isn't something that an ordinary person can deal with. I also didn't expect that if I used my dragon form, I would actually be so strong. My lord, this person mistakenly thought that he killed you. Where will he go next? Liu Zhu seemed to be very worried about this person and couldn't help but ask. I'm not sure, this person's personality is very strange, I can only let Lingtian investigate. Li Fan frowned. He was still thinking about one thing. Who in the world made this person? This guy was arrogant and lawless. If he were to be released, it would probably be a disaster. MN. Keep an eye on this person. Liu Zhu felt threatened. We definitely can't let him endanger your safety. Don't worry, if my main body was here, the one who would die here today would be him. Li Fan roughly judged that the other party's strength was twice as strong as a semisage, but there was still some distance from the Saint Realm. Wanting to reach the Saint Realm, that is not something that anyone can do. Saint Realm is equivalent to the peak of humanity, this world's top strength. Li Fan had also accidentally mastered yin-yang reversal, which allowed him to break through this limit, allowing his strength to continue increasing. First let Ling Tian investigate, this number 9, which country developed it? Li Fan coldly snorted, if I find out that someone deliberately let him out, then don't blame me for being ruthless. My lord, I think it's better to eliminate him first. Liu Zhu suggested, this guy is a hidden danger, it's better to use my main body and eliminate him in one fell swoop. The method is right, it's just that my main body doesn't have the time right now. Li Fan's main body is currently busy being a big bodyguard. Imperial concubine Ju is also in seclusion, it's not suitable for her to chase after people. Probably that guy's luck hasn't run out yet, let him be proud for a while. Alright then. Liu Zhu agreed, then I'll order people to repair the house, this is a big project. Sorry for causing trouble for everyone. Li Fan was a bit embarrassed, although number 9 is a clone, it seems like he broke it himself, right? How can there be such a thing? Then I'll go do my work first, I'll report to you later. Liu Zhu said and retreated. He walked not far away, took out his satellite phone, and dialed a number. Li Fan is in danger, the target is suspected to be a dragon gene clone, it's recommended to use 5 shadows. Approved. It was Chen Junhuo's voice on the other side of the phone. The threat level of the target is high, it's recommended to take him down as soon as possible. Roger. Chen Junhuo hung up the phone, only then did Liu Zhu let out a sigh of relief. Li Fan, Li Fan, you have a kind heart, but this matter of wiping your ass, leave it to me. While Liu Zhu was running around for Li Fan, this main character was currently busy accompanying Liang Ayu home. Originally, Li Fan didn't want to come, but this girl Liang Ayu almost threatened to kill herself, so he could only follow. Chapter 1553. This time, Liang Ayu had made it clear to Li Fan that he was going to pretend to be her boyfriend. Furthermore, Liang Ayu had tailor-made an identity for Li Fan to ensure that he could pass the test in front of his family. Liang Ayu's family was a large family with many people and many rules. They also had higher standards than ordinary people. If Li Fan wanted to pass their eyes, it seemed like he could only rely on Liang Ayu's method. Remember, you can only pretend. You can't make it real. On the way to Liang Ayu's house, Li Fan listened to Enjing's nagging as he drove. Li Fan leaned against Nai Li and concentrated his voice into Enjing's ear. Don't worry. I know what I'm doing. Li Fan was here to complete a mission, not to hit on girls. He had a bottom line. Therefore, he tried his best to ensure that he didn't have too much physical contact with Liang Ayu to prevent her from having any improper thoughts about her. However, it was impossible to say that he didn't have any contact at all. After all, many missions required personal protection. The most difficult part of Li Fan's mission was to maintain a certain distance from Liang Ayu, but he also had to maintain a certain degree of intimacy with her. As for Enjing, Li Fan felt that the higher-ups had arranged for her to assist him, but it was more like a reminder. She would give him instructions every day, afraid that Li Fan would make a mistake. So what if he had hit on the leader's daughter? What was there to make a fuss about? Li Fan didn't have any feelings for Liang Ayu purely because he was afraid of hurting her. This girl looked strong, but she was actually very fragile. Is this identity really fine? Li Fan was wearing the same suit from last time. Liang Ayu had even specially given him a red tie. The tightness of his collar made Li Fan somewhat uncomfortable. However, since the girl's attitude wasn't bad, Li Fan felt that he could give her a chance. Even if he was a little unhappy, he could only bear with it. Don't worry. I've put you under my friend's company, Liang Yu said confidently. Liang Yu said confidently, he started a business outside and had some success. I'll let you be his vice president. That's enough. What kind of business does he run? Li Fan asked subconsciously. Don't worry, it's a legitimate business, a website. Could it be a pornographic website? Screw you, it's a video site. Currently, the traffic is quite good. Liang Yu gave Li Fan a reassuring look. However, your family background is a little poor. I hope they won't take it too seriously. Our ancestors spent more than 100 years to overthrow the feudal class system, but in the end, you people restored it. Li Fan couldn't help but mock him. I'm not the only one to blame for this. Liang Yu hurriedly retorted, no matter which country it is, the hierarchy will always exist. This world had always been unfair. You want to ask why? The weak are prey to the strong. This is the law of nature. We don't have such a system on Li Family Island. Li Fan said, no one will look up to someone just because they are rich and powerful. If the rich and powerful can't enjoy special privileges, then who will work hard? Liang Yu said her own theory, as long as there are people, there will be social classes and there will be comparisons. Utopia and whatnot doesn't exist. It's impossible for those who work hard to earn money to enjoy the same privileges as those who are gluttonous and lazy, right? Of course not. Li Fan smiled. But some people don't rely on their own hard work, but their family's power. If these people lose their power, what will they be left with? I especially hate those who look down on others just because their family background is not as good as theirs. There's a saying that goes, don't bully the young for being poor. Really, what's the use of you telling me these big principles? I'm not looking down on you. Liang Yu spread her hands. Weren't you the same when we first met? Hey, that's not me looking down on you. Liang Yu curled her lips. I treat everyone like this. I'm not doing it because of my family background. I just subconsciously feel that you guys have no resistance to beautiful women. How are you beautiful? Fuck, how am I not beautiful? Liang Yu was about to get angry, but Li Fan laughed. Alright. Let's not joke anymore. Li Fan waved his hand. Let's talk about business. Today I will help you seriously, but only this time. It's definitely impossible in the future. TSK, of course it's only this time. Don't tell me you want to be my boyfriend forever. Liang Yu rolled her eyes, causing Li Fan to laugh. You this brat, you really don't want to take advantage of me. Liang Yu had no way to deal with Li Fan. Oh right, I also said that this KN is yours. Don't expose yourself. Fuck. Li Fan wiped his cold sweat. I feel that your lies are getting bigger and bigger. I don't care. Anyway, you have to cover for me. Liang Yu hardened her heart. Since you are my, Liang Yu's, boyfriend, I can't let those guys look down on me. Alright, I'll try my best. Li Fan could only agree. Ian, it's up to you when the time comes. It's best not to talk too much. The more you talk, the easier it is to expose yourself. Okay. Li Fan nodded. The two of them continued discussing countermeasures as they drove towards their destination. Liang Yu's grandfather's birthday was held in a private clubhouse. This old man was a war hero. Although he had retired, he still had some influence in the upper echelons. Many of his subordinates from back then were now in high positions of power, including his own son. Sometimes, a phone call from him was more effective than some government decrees. However, the old man had never abused his power. From the beginning to the end, the Liang family had always been honest and upright. Old Master Liang had 3 children. His eldest son was Liang Yu's father. He had embarked on an official career and had been promoted step by step until he reached his present position. As for Old Master Liang's second son, he had chosen to go into business. He had relied on his own hard work and some help from the higher-ups to expand the family business. As for Old Master Liang's youngest daughter, she did not pursue an official career or engage in business. She had chosen to study science. Now, she was an academician of the country's 2 academies. She could be said to be a treasure of China. According to the information Jing had given to Li Fan, it was said that fellow Liang had participated in the development of Dragon God number 1. Why else would it be said that a tiger father begets a dog son? None of the 3 children of the Liang family were weak. They were all dragons and phoenixes among men. As for the others, Old Master Liang had siblings. Liang Yu's father had a pair of cousins. It was really a large family with dozens of people. As Old Master Liang was the pillar of the entire family, his birthday was of utmost importance. This club that held the wedding banquet was also the business of the Liang family's second son. If he were to go to someone else's place to eat and drink, it would be a wonder if the old master didn't beat him up. Soon, Li Fan drove the KN and stopped at the club's entrance. Chapter 1554. Little are you, you're finally here. Everyone has been waiting for a long time. That's right, that's right. Come, let Auntie take a look. You've become prettier. After Li Fan and the rest got off the car, the attendant took the car keys for them and went to park the car. Once they entered the club's room, 7 aunts came up to them and surrounded Liang Yu, talking non-stop. Li Fan had a feeling that these people seemed to want to eat Liang Yu up. Looking at Liang Yu's expression, she seemed to be a little annoyed but helpless. In front of them was a very large banquet hall. Many of the Liang family's people and some guests from outside were gathered here. Li Fan glanced at them. Everyone who was pleasing to the eye was busy exchanging pleasantries, as if it was a social gathering place. Liang Yu finally got rid of those relatives and walked in front of Li Fan to catch her breath. So annoying. Liang Yu had a look of lingering fear. How is this like a relative? Just pointing a mole makes her a matchmaker. This is also because they care about your personal situation. Li Fan laughed. Care my ass. They always want to sell me out. Liang Yu clicked her tongue. Today this young master, tomorrow that young master. I just don't understand. Could it be that the Liang family's future is through marriage? How good would it be to be like my third aunt? Never marry and fight for her career for the rest of her life. Never marry, wouldn't that make her an old nun? Who said that? Don't tell me that us women live to marry men. Liang Yu curled her lips and looked at Li Fan with disdain. You're a male chauvinist. Women should find a good home. I don't think this is male chauvinism. Li Fan spoke from the bottom of his heart. Even a man should have a family and a career. Maybe my thinking is more traditional, but I just feel that it's too lonely to be alone. Only the incompetent are lonely. Liang Yu insisted on her opinion. I have music and never feel lonely. I feel that when you play, you are the loneliest. Li Fan's words made Liang Yu silent. Don't talk nonsense. What do you know? Liang Yu took a long time to regain her composure. Then, she curled her lips and said, I invited you here to ask for your help, not to criticize me. Yes, I said too much. Don't be angry. Li Fan could only laugh it off. He had indeed talked too much with Liang Yu and had almost forgotten his identity. It's good that you know. When Liang Yu saw that Li Fan had admitted defeat, she became happy again. Let's not talk about this. We'll give Grandpa a present and eat something, then we'll leave. Why? It's your grandfather's birthday today. Don't you want to spend more time with him? Just accompany him normally. Why are you pretending to be filial at this time? Liang Yu rolled her eyes. All of this is just a formality. It's meaningless. If it wasn't for my dad forcing me to come here, I wouldn't have come here. Where's Uncle? Is he here? Li Fan asked subconsciously. He can't come today. He has a meeting. Liang Yu shrugged her shoulders. He only has work in his eyes. He doesn't care about his family. Li Fan said that there was nothing he could do about it. Sometimes, he was the same. He was busy with his career and had no way to take care of his family. There has to be some trade-offs. Li Fan spoke up for his cheap father-in-law. A person like Uncle is a good public servant of the people. Liang Yu suddenly looked at Li Fan suspiciously. Did I tell you what my father does? You did. Li Fan's heart tightened. However, he had a good mentality after all. He directly lied through his teeth. The last time you were drunk, you kept mumbling it. Liang Ayu's expression suddenly became a little strange. What's wrong with you? Li Fan secretly muttered in his heart. Did he give himself away? You are really a little different. What's different? Do I have two dicks? Fuck you, pervert. Liang Ayu fiercely glared at Li Fan. If others knew my identity, they would flock to me like a flock of ducks. But you treat me like a god of plague. You hide as far as you can. Those who flock to you like a flock of ducks aren't good people. Li Fan laughed. As for me, I'm not a good person either. That's why I'm afraid of being a public servant. Naturally, I want to stay as far away from you as possible. I'm really a god of plague. No, you're not a god of plague. That's more like it. You're just a tigress. Li Yun, you're going to die. Liang Ayu gnashed her teeth. Just when she was about to punish Li Fan, a person walked by. Li Fan and Liang Ayu looked at him. This person was very familiar. It was none other than the returning handsome guy they met a few days ago, Luo Bei. Luo Bei? Why are you here? Liang Ayu frowned. She obviously did not like this person. It's Grandpa Liang's 80th birthday. How could I not come? Luo Bei wore a formal suit. He was handsome and dazzling, attracting the gazes of many girls around him. As the saying goes, which girl doesn't yearn for love? Especially when they meet such a handsome, sunny, and rich young man. They can't help but be moved. But Liang Ayu was an exception. She hated men like Luo Bei the most. He was not real at all. He lived in hypocrisy. Li Fan was the best. He was so real. Even if he hated her, he didn't hide it. What are you doing here? Seeing you annoys me. Liang Ayu didn't hide her disgust. Luo Bei's face stiffened, but he quickly piled up a smile. In his heart, he was thinking, damn this bitch. If it wasn't for her family's background, would I chase after such a barbaric woman? I, Luo Bei, am handsome and rich. What kind of woman can't I get? The women who threw themselves at him were also in groups. Who told her father to be a national leader? Endure it. Luo Bei. A little impatience will spoil the great plan. This woman looks good. Chasing after her won't be a loss. When I catch up with her, I'll play with all the holes on her body. Then I'll go out to drink and have fun. She'll be alone in her room every day. When that time comes, she'll come crying to apologize to me. What rich family's Missy? She's just a woman. If she's a woman, she needs to rely on a man to survive. Student Li, I didn't expect you to be here. Luo Bei's gaze fell on Li Fan. He really wanted to laugh. With Li Fan's identity, is he worthy of coming here? That's fine. I'll let him understand what it means to be a well-matched match. He's my boyfriend. Of course he has to come. Liang Ayu was afraid that Li Fan would let the cat out of the bag. She said it resolutely, as if it was the truth. That's right. Today is Grandpa Liang's birthday. Student Li, did you prepare a gift? Luo Bei wasn't angry. He continued, I specially spent 2 million to invite a 10,000 gold Buddha from Thailand. It was blessed by a great master. I heard that it guarantees good luck and longevity. Oh, right. Student Li, you haven't told me yet. What gift did you buy? Chapter 1555. You want to know? Li Fan knew that Luo Bei was mocking him on purpose, but he wasn't angry. If he was angry, then he would fall into Luo Bei's trap. I'm indeed curious. Luo Bei nodded with a smile. You're Shiru's boyfriend. I heard that Grandpa Liang loves his granddaughter the most. Since you're his future grandson-in-law, the gift must be good, right? Of course, it must be good. Li Fan winked at Luo Bei with a confident look. Hehe, then I'm really looking forward to it. Luo Bei sneered and was about to say something when a round of applause came from the side. He turned his head and saw Liang Ayu's cousin walking up the stage with a microphone in his hand. Liang Ayu's cousin was called Liang Jun. He was a famous host in the Central Television. The people in the Liang family were all dragons and phoenixes among men. They were all elites and outstanding talents. If Li Fan was really just an ordinary university student, he might really be humiliated today. Fortunately, Li Fan's identity wasn't ordinary, especially his mentality. There were so many elites in the Liang family, but none of them could compare to Li Fan's experience. Naturally, they couldn't reach the state of being one with nature like Li Fan. Li Fan sat there. Although it was noisy around him and the hall was luxurious, Li Fan turned a blind eye to it. At this moment, it was as if he was sitting in the clouds, surrounded by clear water. It was as if he was in the sea of his heart again. The bustling hustle and bustle were slowly fading away. What welcomed Li Fan was tranquility. As the saying goes, a small hermit lives in the wild, a great hermit lives in the city. If one's mentality was good, even in the noisy marketplace, one could still cultivate. Liang Jun was hosting the family's birthday banquet. As old Liang's birthday banquet, it couldn't be too extravagant or too simple. Therefore, eating and gift-giving were usually the same content. After all, old Master Liang had already retired and no longer held any real power. If he accepted gifts, the higher-ups would only turn a blind eye to it. However, old Liang would donate these gifts to the country every year and didn't take a single cent. But even if he didn't want it, others couldn't not give it to him. Although old Master Liang was incorruptible, he was not an unreasonable person. He himself was honest, but he did not force the people around him to do the same. In China, there were unwritten rules in the bureaucracy. As long as it didn't go against the party spirit, old Master Liang allowed some evasions to be carried out within permissible limits. Li Fan and Liang Yu sat together. There was almost no one else there. Only Luo Bei was thick-skinned enough to sit with them. No one knew what An was thinking. It didn't take long for old Master Liang to walk over. Despite his age, old Master Liang still looked spirited. He had white hair and a youthful complexion. He pushed away the Liang clan disciple that wanted to support him, and he walked over to the seat of the chairman with a majestic gait before sitting down. Thank you all for coming. After talking for so long, everyone must be hungry. I hereby announce the official start of our old Master Liang's birthday banquet. Only after Liang Jun announced did everyone start toasting each other. Many people directly treated this place as a social occasion. After all, those who could appear here were all big shots with reputations. Young Master Zhao of the Zhao family has sent over a 10,000-year-old snow ginseng. May old Master Liang live a long and boundless life. Mr. Yang of the Yang clan has sent a Nanyang luminous pearl. May old Master Liang live a prosperous life. Liang Jun didn't care about eating as he read out the gift list. Old Master Liang seemed to be quite impatient. The old man didn't eat either. He opened the newspaper, put on his reading glasses, and seemed to be reading the news. He curled his lips when he heard the gift list. What's wrong with you? I'm just an old man. Why would I need those things? What a waste. Dad, these are all gifts from everyone. Liang Yu's second uncle, Liang Tian, wore an ordinary black woolen sweater. He sat beside his father and smiled. Dad, just accept it. Yes, but you have to donate them to me later. Old Master Liang snorted. I'm afraid my lifespan will be shortened if I really put them in my pocket. All right, this is our family tradition. Liang Tian nodded. Besides, our family doesn't lack these things. It's just a token of appreciation. Little Tian, I'm telling you, you have a big business. You can't do anything illegal. Old Master Liang did not forget to remind his second son as he read the newspaper. Don't think that I'm old, but my ears are sharp. If I find out that you're up to no good, don't blame me for breaking your legs. Dad, what are you talking about? Am I that kind of person in your eyes? You know best whether you're the one who's not. Learn from your big brother. People have to walk the right path. Do you understand? You keep asking me to learn from my big brother. My big brother doesn't even recognize me anymore. Liang Tian poured a mouthful of maotai for the old man. At the same time, he muttered unhappily, besides, I wouldn't dare to do anything bad. I'm afraid of going to hell. Only bad people are afraid of going to hell. Old Master Liang snorted again. We old revolutionaries don't recognize any ghosts or gods. With righteousness in our hearts, we can come and go without worries. Fine, fine, fine. My old Red Army man, you're aware. I'll learn from you, okay? It's good that you know it. You don't have to say it out loud. Old Master Liang muttered again. Your big brother didn't come? He might be. Okay. Where's Xiaoru? She's sitting over there. This little girl doesn't know how to get close to Grandpa. She wasn't like this when she was younger. Old Master Liang sighed. Xiaoru's situation is special this year. What's special? I heard she brought her boyfriend back. Look, he's sitting over there. Who? Old Master Liang pulled down his glasses and glanced in Liang Ayu's direction. The brat from the Luo family? I've never liked that guy. Why is Xiaoru looking for him? It's not him. It's the one next to him. Which family? An ordinary family. Liang Tian had already checked. Her parents are ordinary people. Not bad. Old Master Liang seemed a little happy. Xiaoru is smart. Young people are better than old people like us. Dad, how can an ordinary family be good enough for our family? Bullshit. Even if we go up, our family is still ordinary. Old Master Liang scolded. You're forgetting your roots more and more. Dad, don't be angry. I'm telling the truth. Liang Tian said unhurriedly, look at the kind of people our family is interacting with now. Even if you don't say anything, sooner or later, this kid will feel the gap between us. Do you think he'll be happy as a son-in-law in this kind of family? What's there to be unhappy about? I think he's happy. Old Master Liang was quite stubborn. Anyway, you're not allowed to interfere in this matter. Ayo, your precious granddaughter's temper is just like yours. How would we dare? Chapter 1556. That's good. Old Master Liang was a little happy. He couldn't help but look at Li Fan a few more times. But, why do I feel like there's something different about that kid? Dad, your presbyopia should be treated. Bullshit. Do you want me to go blind? What are you talking about? Dad, I just feel that you don't even look at the scions of so many families. How can that kid be worthy of your attention? What do you know? Old Master Liang was also a veteran of the battlefield. During the Korean War and the Vietnam War, he had single-handedly defeated countless American devils. Even after so many years of peace, he still deeply remembered the feeling of fighting for life in the midst of death. Back then, death had been sleeping by his side. On the other hand, Old Master Liang actually felt a trace of pressure coming from the kid opposite him. This was an instinctive feeling of a wild beast that had survived the battlefield. Could that kid have an extraordinary background? Since he was his grandson-in-law, shouldn't he step forward to test him? Little Tian, call that kid over. I have something to ask him. Dad, can't you understand human language? Fine, fine, fine. It's your birthday. You're the oldest. Bullshit. I'm the oldest even if it's not my birthday. Yes, everything you said is correct. Liang Tian had no choice. No one could stop his father when he went crazy. It should be about time after everyone has sent their gifts. Liang Tian was quite optimistic about Luo Bei. The Luo family was very powerful in Beijing. It would be good for the Liang family if they could form a marriage alliance. The Luo family's young master has sent Thailand's 10,000 gold Buddha. He wishes Old Master Liang a long life. An exquisite golden Buddha was brought over. It shone brightly, drawing the attention of the crowd. Good heavens, as expected of the Luo family, they were truly rich and overbearing. There was a seal behind the golden Buddha. It was clearly a treasure that had been blessed by a master. Such things could only be found by chance. The crowd discussed heatedly, all praising Luo Bei and making him look good. He glanced at Li Fan, seemingly pleased with himself. The Li family. The Li family's young master has sent a box of brain platinum. When Liang Jun read out the gift, he was stunned. Everyone roared with laughter, and Liang Tian shook his head vigorously. With this kind of gift, He still wanted to become the son-in-law of the Liang clan? Everyone looked at Li Fan and laughed until tears flowed down their cheeks. Liang Yu was also a little embarrassed. This Li Fan had already said that he would pay for it, but he was unwilling and insisted on preparing it himself. This time, I'm finished. I'll definitely be laughed at to death. Student Li's gift is quite unique. Luo Bei laughed heartily while holding onto his arm. This is unexpected. This is unexpected. Ha ha ha, I'm dying of laughter. You actually have the nerve to take out such a thing? You overestimate yourself. How could he be worthy of Miss Liang? A toad lusting for swan meat. Thank you for your praise, Senior Luo. Amidst the laughter of the crowd, Li Fan's expression remained unchanged, as if he was bathing in the spring breeze. He raised his wine glass, stood up, and bowed to Old Master Liang. Everyone looked at him, and they quietened down. Everyone's gifts are not bad. The 10,000-year-old snow ginseng, the Nanyang pearl, and this Thai golden Buddha are all treasures. Li Fan spoke frankly with assurance. Although I only gave brain platinum, compared to everyone else, my gift has its own unique meaning. Oh! Liang Jun saw his father's gaze and understood. He immediately asked Li Fan, I want to know, what is the meaning of this brain platinum? The meaning is that I earned this brain platinum myself and then went to the streets to buy it. Li Fan looked at Luo Bei. May I ask, dear Senior Luo, your golden Buddha is quite good, but did you earn the money to buy it? As for the golden Buddha you bought from Thailand, I would like to ask, did you go to Thailand personally? Of course I did, Luo Bei wanted to explain, but this kind of thing could be easily found out. He didn't dare to pretend. My feelings are the most important. Yes, feelings are the most important. Li Fan clapped his hands. Senior Luo is indeed knowledgeable and has a unique perspective. You have feelings, and so do I. I won't laugh at your feelings, but why do you have to laugh at mine? Li Fan suddenly increased his tone, and you all think that everyone's love and respect for Old Master Liang can be measured with money? Is Old Master Liang someone who values money as much as his life in everyone's eyes? Old Master Liang is of noble character and unquestionable integrity. How could he value money as much as his life? This is just a meager gift from everyone. Don't go overboard. Luo Bei immediately criticized Li Fan. Meager gift. Well said. Your golden Buddha is really meager. Li Fan chuckled. Compared to my brain platinum, it's as light as a feather. But there's an old saying, a goose feather sent from 1,000 miles away, the gift is light but the sentiment is heavy. So, everyone was laughing so happily just now. Are you laughing at the ancients, or are you laughing at our noble character and unquestionable integrity, Old Master Liang? Li Fan's words were like the wind of sophistry. He immediately turned everyone's spearhead towards Old Master Liang. Everyone was silent. They didn't say a word. Liang Yu's eyes lit up from the side. She couldn't help but secretly give Li Fan a thumbs up when she saw Luo Bei being deflated. Good, good, good. Well said. Old Master Liang was the first to speak, breaking the deadlock. Young man, you're knowledgeable. Come over and have a chat with this old man. Luo Bei felt a burst of jealousy. He had fawned over the Liang family so many times, but Old Master Liang had never ignored him, let alone chatted with him. Now, he actually took the initiative to call that poor student over for a chat. Damn it. Could it be that he had stolen the initiative? This kid was born with a mouth. What did Old Master Liang see in him? Go over. Be careful what you say. Liang Yu pulled Li Fan and walked over to Old Master Liang's side. The surrounding gazes fell on Li Fan, as if he was the focus of the entire scene. However, Li Fan turned a blind eye to them. It was as if the people present were not some aristocratic family, but a pile of eggplants and potatoes. Smelly girl, you actually know to come. Do you think that I'm already dead? Old Master Liang first pulled his granddaughter over and let her sit beside him. How could I? There are so many people surrounding Grandpa. I don't dare to disturb you. Liang Yu giggled. She was quite relaxed in front of her grandfather. It was as if she had let down some of her guard. They're all flies. Annoying. That's why I don't dare to disturb you. Glib tongue. The old man pinched his granddaughter's nose. Hurry up and introduce me. Who is this smelly kid? Hello, old master. I'm Li Yun, Liang Ayu's classmate. Li Fan immediately went forward and gave a simple self-introduction. Chapter 1557. Li Yun. Old Master Liang repeated the name. How old are you this year? 21. Li Fan was very respectful. After all, the person in front of him was a national hero. It was only right to be respectful. 21, not bad. Old Master Liang nodded. When I was your age, I was already on the battlefield. Thank you, old man. It's because of your hard work that we're able to live in this peaceful era. Yo, young man, you sure know how to talk. Old Master Liang burst into laughter. I'm speaking from the bottom of my heart. Li Fan was speaking from the bottom of his heart. If it weren't for the blood shed by these ancestors, how could they have the wonderful life they have today? Sure, come and have some wine. Old Master Liang raised his glass, and Liang Ayu quickly poured a glass of marotai for Li Fan. Liang Tian couldn't help but ask, Dad, I'm still a kid, it's not good for me to drink, right? You're already 21, what child? Besides, Xiaoru is just like me, she can drink a lot. If Xiao Li can't drink a little, how can he deal with my precious granddaughter? Wouldn't they be bullied to death by her? Grandfather. Liang Ayu stomped her foot angrily. How did I become a tigress to you? No, not a tigress, but a little tiger. Old Master Liang laughed loudly, which made Liang Ayu unhappy. By the way, young man, I heard that you're already a vice president at such a young age? Old Master Liang suddenly asked. Li Fan hesitated for a moment, but immediately said, Old Master Liang, actually, it's just that my senior has a good relationship with me, so he gave me a nominal position. I haven't even been to that company for a day. Liang Ayu was a little anxious when she heard that. Why did this guy say it out loud? In order to let Li Fan have this position, he even promised to have a meal with him. He had put in so much effort, was he going to make a loss? Losing money was a small matter, but what if his family really despised Li Yun's identity? Was his plan about to fail? Oh, isn't it good to be the vice president of such a company? Old Master Liang continued to ask. No one could tell what he was thinking. Definitely, but I prefer to keep my feet on the ground. Li Fan smiled and said, no matter how good the company is, no matter how high the position is, it's all because of my senior's hard work. It has nothing to do with me. My future career will only be interesting if I work hard with my own hands. Young man, you have ambition. However, Old Master Liang praised him. You are indeed ambitious. Liang Tian, however, had a different attitude. But just having a mouth isn't enough. Young man, do you know how cruel this society is? Just having a mouth wasn't enough, he had to work hard. Sometimes, just working hard isn't enough. How is it not enough? Unexpectedly, his words provoked another reprimand from Old Master Liang. You brat, you're always thinking about dark thoughts. This was a bright society with boundless prospect. As long as you're willing to work hard, you'll reap the rewards. Yes. Infinite light. Liang Tian was extremely exasperated. His old man was really stubborn in this aspect. It would be great if the current society was really like what he said. Come on, let's not talk about that. Young man, let's drink. Old Master Liang did not say anything else. He picked up his glass and started drinking with Li Fan. He seemed to be testing Li Fan's alcohol tolerance as he drank one glass after another. Dad, drink less. Take care of your health. Liang Tian hurriedly advised. The old man was already 80 years old, but he still drank like it was water. This little bit of alcohol is nothing. Old Master Liang curled his lips. Back then, when we talked about military cooperation with the Russians, those bastards didn't agree and sent a few Russians over to drink with us. I took them all down by myself. Be obedient and cooperate. Yes. You're the best. Liang Tian had no choice. He could only coax the old man at home. Li Fan was also a good drinker. He exchanged toasts with the old man and drank for a long time. A bottle of marotai entered his mouth, but he did not seem drunk at all. Wow, young man, your alcohol tolerance is pretty good. Old Master Liang could not help but exclaim. He was fine, but his face was slightly red. Grandpa, don't drink with him. This kid can drink. Even I can't outdrink him. In the end, he had to carry me to the hotel. The moment Liang Ayu finished speaking, Li Fan's face darkened and cold sweat flowed down his back. Fuck, don't you think your words are a little ambiguous? Your family members are not ordinary people. If you misunderstand, won't I be dead meat? Ha, you can really drink. Even you aren't a match for him. Unexpectedly, old Master Liang did not mind at all. It was as if he knew his granddaughter too well. He patted Li Fan's shoulder and had a higher opinion of him. All right, go have fun with Xiuru. I won't be the third wheel. Old Master Liang was finally willing to let Li Fan off. Li Fan secretly heaved a sigh of relief. Fuck, it's really tiring to deal with this old man. Thank you, old master. I'll be leaving first. I'll visit another day and have a good drink with you. Li Fan stood up and bowed to old Master Liang. Then, he followed Liang Ayu and left. Oh my god, you really managed to deal with it. Liang Ayu secretly patted her small chest. Stop patting. Ah! It won't get bigger if you continue. You want to die. Liang Ayu fiercely glared at Li Fan. Can't you be serious for a while? We're obviously talking about a very serious topic, okay? Alright. My performance today was not bad, right? Li Fan winked at Liang Ayu. It's not bad. I really doubt if you're a professional actor. Liang Ayu pulled Li Fan and walked out while talking to herself. If one day, I find out that even your current identity is an act, what should I do? That's really too scary. I only have you as a friend. If even you lie to me, who should I trust in this world? Li Fan's heart sank. He could not answer Liang Ayu's question. Isn't my imagination especially rich? Liang Ayu was amused by her own thoughts. You're not a secret agent or a spy. How could your identity be an act? That's right, Li Fan laughed dryly. You can go write a novel. Sure, I can write a novel. Liang Ayu nodded. If I can't be a musician in the future, I can still be a screenwriter. You can definitely be a musician. Li Fan had a lot of faith in Liang Ayu. She was a natural-born musician. Her music touched Li Fan even more than that last Cheng Mohan. Thank you for your kind words. Liang Ayu's mood seemed to be especially good today. She was indescribably happy. You didn't eat your fill just now, right? Let's go. I'll treat you to something delicious. Liang Ayu pulled Li Fan and stuffed him into the car. Then, she sat in the driver's seat. Fuck. You're not going to sell me, right? She glanced at Li Fan, and then her body trembled slightly. Are you cold? Li Fan asked. Liang Ayu snorted. Li Fan immediately took off his suit jacket. Liang Ayu thought to herself, not bad. This lad is quite smart. Fuck, we're all brothers. If we're cold, we'll be cold together. Li Fan threw his jacket to the ground. Liang Ayu stomped her feet in anger and turned to leave. Fuck. That's awesome enough, right? Li Fan said to Enjing through the earpiece. Are typical men behaving like beasts when they say such things to women? Not really. Enjing giggled. They're worse than beasts. Fuck, it's all because you requested it. If we didn't request it, what would you have done? Enjing asked, date Liang Ayu? Don't forget your identity. Even if you really date Liang Ayu, how are you going to explain it to her in the future? Or do you want to use Li Yun's identity to live your entire life? Li Fan, it's better to get the pain over with than to prolong it. It's better to have no pain at all. Instead of waiting for the pain in the future, it's better to take precautions and prevent anything from happening. Li Fan really had no way of retorting Enjing's words. The young lady was right. Every word was heart-wrenching. I can't remind you every second. However, your performance tonight wasn't bad. Thank you. Don't stand on ceremony. I'm only doing my best to help you. Enjing sighed. The 3 months are almost up. You'll be able to leave this place soon. Wouldn't it be better to come clean and go back clean and tidy? If you don't enter Liang Ayu's heart, she'll only be sad for you for a while even if you leave. Yes, I understand. After hearing Enjing's reminder, Li Fan hung up. He looked up and saw that Liang Ayu had already started the car and was about to leave. Hey! Wait for me. Li Fan was at a loss whether to laugh or cry. This lass really couldn't be stopped when she went crazy. He jogged a few steps, caught up to the car, opened the door, and got in. My dear mistress, are you planning on running away alone? There's not enough time. If we don't return, the school will be closed. Liang Ayu said coldly. Then why don't you stay outside? Despicable. As Liang Ayu spoke, she floored the accelerator. The KN's performance was very good. It charged out like a wild horse and rampaged on the road. Hey! Are you driving a car or flying a plane? Li Fan was a little speechless. Young lady, aren't you flying a little too low? Cut the crap. Get out if you're not going to sit. Holy shit, then stop the car first. Fuck, Liang Ayu had already exceeded the speed limit. She was driving very fast. The road at night was very wide and there were almost no cars. Hence, when Liang Ayu was almost 200 miles per hour, Li Fan's heart was in his throat. He wasn't worried about himself. After all, with his strength, he wouldn't even worry about 300 to 500 miles per hour, much less 200. His heart ached for the car. It was worth 1,000,000 yuan. What if it was damaged? You won't die. Liang Ayu floored the accelerator to the limit, as though she was about to puncture the car. The car sped on the road at night as though she didn't care about her life. Li Fan even felt that Liang Ayu really didn't want to live anymore. By the way, my exchange time is almost over. Li Fan's words directly made Liang Ayu step on the brakes. With a squeak, the car let out a terrible scream as though it was having a difficult birth. Then, it turned sideways and stopped by the side of the road. What did you say? Liang Ayu turned her head and looked at Li Fan very seriously. I was originally an exchange student at the Shanghai Music University. Li Fan looked at Liang Ayu's eyes and felt his heart tremble. This girl. Why did she look at people like they were being pricked by needles? My exchange here was originally for 3 months. The time is almost up. I should go back to Shanghai. I'll help you inform them later. You don't have to go back. Liang Ayu immediately said, just stay here. Why? Chapter 1559. Li Fan's heart tightened as he faintly felt a little uneasy. Because, if you leave, I won't have a place to freeload. Liang Ayu's reason made Li Fan a little unconvinced. What kind of reason is this? She's with me just to freeload? Although Chioer's cooking is indeed delicious. But isn't Liang Ayu's words too arrogant? Anyway, I won't let you go. Liang Ayu, all good things must come to an end. Li Fan told Liang Ayu, no matter how good our relationship is, it will break up one day. I don't care, you must listen to me. Liang Ayu bit Li Fan, if I don't let you go, you can't leave. Did I sell myself to you? Li Fan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Do you hate me? Liang Ayu suddenly asked. No. I don't think so. Li Fan thought about it carefully. He really didn't hate Liang Ayu that much. Although he didn't like her wild and cunning character, there was a reason why Liang Ayu became like this. Moreover, her nature wasn't bad and she had changed a lot recently. Bullshit. You hate me. Liang Ayu stared at Li Fan's eyes and said very directly, I can see it, don't try to fool me. I don't hate you, it's just what? It's true that we are friends, but there's no need to tie us together every day, right? Li Fan smiled bitterly, when I go back to school, I won't break up with you. Do we have to go to the toilet hand in hand every day? Anyway, you're not allowed to leave. Liang Ayu insisted. This is definitely not possible. Li Fan made up his mind and said, "Do you remember I told you that I have a girlfriend? She's in Shanghai, still waiting for me to go back." "You have a girlfriend? Sure, let me have a look at her photo." Liang Aryu brought out her unyielding spirit. "I want to see how she's better than me." "Are you crazy? How can you compare with my girlfriend? You're definitely better than her, but she's the one who will accompany me for the rest of my life." The more Li Fan spoke, the more certain he became. "A girlfriend can accompany you for life? You're too optimistic." Liang Aryu curled her lips. "That's impossible. In today's society, who can guarantee to accompany you to the end? Let's give it a try first." "Get off," Liang Aryu suddenly said coldly. "All right." Li Fan wasn't angry. He felt that it was a good thing that Liang Aryu was angry. Once she was angry, she would release it. After releasing it, she would naturally be relieved. However, before Li Fan opened the door, Liang Aryu suddenly pressed the car lock and locked the door. "Huh?" Li Fan did not understand. What was this for? Liang Aryu turned her head and stared at Li Fan again. She seemed very serious and seemed to have made some sort of decision. "What are you doing?" Li Fan felt that something was wrong. He laughed dryly. "Hurry up and let me go. I won't disturb your rest." "Li Yun," Liang Aryu looked at Li Fan. Li Fan felt that her words were at the tip of his tongue. Li Fan was very nervous. He felt that he should find a way to stop the other party from saying this. However, Li Fan's brain wasn't that fast. He couldn't find a suitable way in a short period of time. At this time, Li Fan missed Lin Yuhin very much. If this little girl was here, with her brain, she would definitely be able to come up with dozens of solutions in less than a second. But he couldn't do it. If it was a martial arts competition, when the opponent made a move, he would be able to come up with dozens of solutions in an instant. But for this kind of thing, forget it. He really wasn't good at it. However, at this moment, a long sword suddenly fell from the sky and pierced the front of the car, nailing the KN to the ground. Liang Aryu was taken aback. Without hesitation, Li Fan stretched out his hand and cut the back of Liang Aryu's neck. Liang Aryu immediately fainted and went limp in Li Fan's arms. A figure fell from the sky and landed in front of the car. He was wearing a black coat and his face was covered. He couldn't see his identity. Without waiting for Li Fan to ask, he suddenly frowned and stretched out his hand to the side. With a bang, the car window beside Liang Aryu was smashed. A crescent moon scimitar flew in and smashed the window glass, heading towards Liang Aryu. And Li Fan just happened to reach out and grabbed the crescent moon scimitar in his hand. His hand was like an iron palm. An extremely sharp crescent moon scimitar was pinched by Li Fan's 3 fingers. Another 2 assassins dressed in black fell and landed on both sides of the car. These 2 assassins didn't have any other weapons, but they seemed to be practicing the Iron Claw Kung Fu. The 2 of them reached out and grabbed a car door each. With a little force, they pulled the car door down. Following that, an assassin's iron claw grabbed at Li Fan, while the other grabbed at Liang Aryu. "Humph," Li Fan sneered. With him here, these 2 assassins still wanted to succeed. Li Fan activated the dragon capturing hand. The 2 assassins' bodies were directly dragged over by Li Fan and leaped over Liang Aryu's body. Then, they were grabbed by Li Fan's hands. He grabbed the 2 people's necks and twisted them. With 2 cracking sounds, the 2 people died. Li Fan didn't mind killing 2 people casually. There was still one left to interrogate. The man in black in front of him was still there. He threw out 3 flying knives that pierced through the front windshield and headed straight for Liang Aryu. Pa. However, Li Fan extended his hand again and activated the omnipotent dragon capturing hand, immediately sucking the 3 flying knives into his hand. The assassin seemed to realize that Li Fan wasn't easy to deal with. He didn't dare to hesitate and turned to escape. "Where are you going?" Li Fan struck across the air. The assassin screamed tragically and was sent flying. He landed on the ground and even slid out of the courtyard. Li Fan flipped and jumped out of the car. He landed in front of the assassin. After Li Fan left, Chiu landed silently and guarded the car. Li Fan was protecting Liang Ryu in all aspects. As he knew that Chiu was protecting him, Li Fan could come out of the car without worry and stand in front of the assassin. Just as Li Fan was about to question him, the assassin suddenly flipped and swept his sword towards Li Fan's throat. Although the assassin was very fast, Li Fan was faster. He kicked him, sending him tumbling to the ground. "You're courting death." Li Fan kicked him again and channeled his inner strength into the assassin's meridians. The assassin screamed in pain. Li Fan's move was very terrifying. Even the most powerful man wouldn't be able to withstand it. This assassin was in the same situation. He was in so much pain that he wanted to die. He kept screaming in pain, and he wanted to kill himself. "Tell me, who sent you here?" Li Fan pulled off his mask. This guy was an assassin from Huaxia. However, Huaxia's biggest assassin organization, Yama Hall, had been destroyed by his eldest disciple. Who were these people? Chapter 1560. But the other party did not speak. He suddenly foamed at the mouth and died just like that. What the fuck? Li Fan pried open his mouth and found out that he had bitten a poison sac in his mouth. Death warrior? Li Fan frowned. Damn, this kind of person is the hardest to deal with. Ling Tian, help me check if there are any special people that entered the capital recently. Li Fan took out his satellite phone and called Ling Tian. What the fuck, how do I check? Ling Tian was in a difficult position. The capital is the heart of China. It's about to have a heart attack. There are tens of millions of people moving around every day. Where do you want me to check for suspicious people? I met some assassins. They are Chinese. Li Fan added, but they should not be from the mainland. They might be outsiders. If that's the case, I have some ideas. Ling Tian gave Li Fan some information. According to my information, there are some tourists from Taiwan who entered the capital recently. These people seem to be martial artists, so I paid special attention to them. Very good. Li Fan nodded, hung up the phone with Ling Tian, and asked, Dong are you there? Yes, young master. Dong figure immediately appeared beside Li Fan, and she bowed slightly to him. Millimeter, are you familiar with their martial arts? Dong knew a lot of martial arts in the world. If it's martial arts from Taiwan, she should be familiar with them, right? That year, the Kuomintang retreated to Taiwan and brought many martial artists with them. Also, during the Red Decade, many people escaped to the other side. Therefore, the number of martial artists in China and Japan was not less than the number of martial artists in China. Some of them are even more refined. Millimeter, that's understandable. Li Fan felt slightly regretful. The Red Decade had caused a lot of damage to China's culture. Back then, as long as one or two grandmasters escaped to Taiwan, with the policies of Taiwan, these grandmasters would definitely be allowed to flourish and develop their own martial arts force. Therefore, it makes sense for young master to suspect that they are martial artists from Beiwan. The kung fu they used was the long-lost lotus kung fu in Huaxia. Cultivating this lotus flower skill to the extreme, you can turn your body into steel, palm like a knife, finger like a sword. Dong pointed at the car door that had a dent in it. Then how many sects does Wanwan have now? According to the information I've gathered, there used to be 3 big sects in Beibei. However, Beibei's land was too small, and the 3 sects fought endlessly for resources and disciples. In the end, both sides suffered losses. One of the sects left for another country, and the other was swallowed up on the spot. Now, there should only be one sect left, called the Lotus Sect. Lotus Cult, why does it sound like a cult? Li Fan curled his lips. It seems like WNWN has lost its mind. Since that's the case, let me meet these martial masters of WNWN. While Li Fan was cleaning up the battlefield, on the other side, in a secret base, a middle-aged man wearing a Chinese tunic suit slapped his subordinate in front of him. Pa! A crisp sound rang out, and the subordinate spun around in a circle, his eyes seeing stars. A bunch of idiots. The man in the Chinese tunic suit scolded, "You useless trash, feeding you is a waste of our Bay Nation's taxpayers' money. Mr. Zhao, that person is really powerful." The subordinate seemed to feel wronged. "We sent out 3 guardian experts, but they still returned in failure." Returned in failure? It was obvious that they were all killed. "Return my ass." Mr. Zhao was furious. "Didn't you Lotus sect claim to be invincible? Didn't you say that the sect leader's power is unparalleled and that his disciples can sweep the entire Huaxia martial world? How come the 3 of you couldn't even deal with a small bodyguard from Huaxia?" "Mr. Zhao, that bodyguard from Huaxia seems to be an expert. Didn't the Storm mercenary group that America sent before get repelled by him?" "Oh," Mr. Zhao sneered, "that's not what you said before. Who was the one who told me that the Storm mercenary group is just a bunch of trash, not worth mentioning in front of your Lotus sect experts?" This, although not worth mentioning, it can be used as a reference. In short, we did underestimate this bodyguard from Huaxia. The subordinate side, to be able to kill 3 of my guardian experts, I'm afraid they used at least 30 to 50 people. Although they took away the lives of my followers, they should have lost more than half of their manpower. As long as we send out stronger martial masters, with the remnants of Huaxia's army, they definitely won't be able to stop us. Good, then you call over more experts and eliminate them for me. We must kill Liang Ryu and give the Liang family a warning. If we can kill Liang Ryu, we can naturally kill all of them. I want those dog officials from Huaxia to live in fear every day, never to mention such shameless things like subduing our Bay Nation." "Yes." The subordinate immediately agreed. "This mission will definitely be a piece of cake. Go, don't disappoint me again." This Mr. Zhao waved his hand and let the subordinate leave. After the subordinate left the door, he directly went to a bath. His subordinates had come here and stayed in the bathing pool. That high-class bath was originally opened by a Taiwanese businessman, so this place is equivalent to their property. In this place, whether it is comfortable to take a bath or not, first of all, the sex industry is very developed. The few martial masters in Bay Nation are like national treasures, enjoying all kinds of preferential treatment. After entering Huaxia, the Taiwanese businessman naturally also started to worship them. When these martial masters came here, they also forgot about their martial arts training. Day and night, they are very happy. Although the subordinate is servile in front of Mr. Zhao, his position in the Lotus sect is not low. He holds the title of Holy Envoy and is specifically responsible for this assassination plan. His position in Huaxia is equivalent to the sect leader, the spokesperson of the Lotus sect. These martial masters are all elites in the sect. All of them have the strength of a hall leader. Among the martial masters in Bay Nation, only those who have trained to a generation's grandmaster are qualified to become a hall leader, and the sect leader is called the Lotus Sage Buddha. He has the strength that surpasses a generation's grandmaster. The Holy Envoy knows that Huaxia has experienced a few cultural disasters. There are not many powerful martial masters left. Not to mention a generation's grandmaster. Even those who have reached the peak are pitifully few. It is enough for the hall leader to personally come out. If it is the Sage Buddha personally coming, he can probably sweep the entire Huaxia. What Huaxia's dragon god number 1? That is all nonsense. How can they fight with the Sage Buddha? Master Zheng, where is Master Zheng? The Holy Envoy directly went up to the 3rd floor and directly asked the front desk. This shop only uses people from Bay Nation. They are all completely Bay Nation people. Only by using their own people can they be at ease. Chapter 1561. Master Zhang is in room 303. The girl at the front desk immediately replied, "He has chosen 2 technicians and is currently receiving their services." "How long has it been?" The sacred emissary did not want to wait too long in case something happened. If he gives China too much time to prepare, they might strengthen their defense, and that will be detrimental to his plan. He might as well take this opportunity to get rid of that Chinese woman in one go. More than an hour. Then it's about time. The saint nodded. The receptionist understood what he was thinking and instructed a waiter to move a switch on the bookcase at the side. The bookcase immediately rotated, revealing the passageway behind it. The saint walked in and found room 303. He listened at the door for a while and could hear the sounds of flesh colliding. As a martial artist, although Master Zheng is in his 50s, his stamina is top-notch. He fought 2 phoenixes alone, causing the 2 technicians to cry out in pain. This made Master Zheng very excited. He did not expect these Chinese women to be so good at sex. It was better than what he had imagined. After more than an hour, he still had not had enough fun and was prepared to do another round. To be honest, he is very satisfied with the service here and does not want to go back to the other side. But Master Zhang is also very curious. The government said that this place is as poor as a dog, but when he came here, it seems to be quite rich. But the saint had explained that this is a big country, and there will be some developed places, just like the concessions in the past. He heard that many places in this area are owned by US investors. As expected, US is the richest country. Without their investment, let alone tea eggs, the Chinese people might not even be able to afford tofu. What a poor country. This kind of country is only able to nurture their women well. With this kind of national strength, they still want to conquer the great and rich Bay? This is simply shameless. He would vent his anger on these 2 female technicians first. Just when Master Zheng was about to do it again, an annoying voice came from outside. Master Zheng, are you done? As soon as Master Zheng heard this voice, his vigor and liveliness immediately died down. If he lost his interest, how was he supposed to play? You 2 can leave. Master Zheng waved his hand and let the 2 technicians leave. He put on a pair of trousers himself and sat on the bed, lighting a cigarette as he admitted the saint. The sacred envoy walked in and couldn't help but frown when he saw Master Zheng smoking. Master Zheng, lung function is very important for a martial master. I don't think it's good to smoke, right? It doesn't matter if I smoke or not. Not many people can beat me anyway. Master Zheng looked indifferent. Next time, remember to look for me during the day. This is a last-minute matter. I hope Master Zheng can handle it. There were a total of 3 martial masters. The other 2 were still outside, handling some other matters. Only Master Zhang was in the bath. Otherwise, the Holy Messenger wouldn't have come looking for him. The main thing was that the Holy Envoy did not expect that the 3 assassins he sent would fail. When? What happened? The 3 assassins we sent are all dead. The saint said. 3 useless fools. You can't even defeat a Chinese? You're a disgrace to us Taiwanese. That's right. Mr. Zhao is very angry when he finds out about this, so I can only ask you to help. What about the 2 of them? Are they all idlers? Must they disturb me when I'm busy? Master Zheng's eyes widened. Although the other party is the Holy Messenger, in the Lotus sect, strength is everything. The 3 hall masters all have the strength of a generation's grandmaster, while the one in front of him is only at the peak of perfection. Even if he has a high position, he can only come and coax the 3 hall masters. They're all working for the church, so they're not nearby for the time being. Moreover, I believe that among the 3 hall masters, the strongest is you, Master Zheng. With you, it'll be a piece of cake. That's true. Master Zheng arrogantly puffed out a smoke ring, but I'm tired today. Let's talk about the mission tomorrow or the day after. How can we do that? Now is the best time to act. The Holy Messenger hurriedly said, any later and it'll be too late. Master Zheng, please cooperate with us. Releasing the mission is your business. That's right. Master Zheng sat on the bed and crossed his legs, but whether to do it or not, when to do it, that's my business. If you're not satisfied, you can do it yourself. The Holy Messenger forcefully clenched his teeth. This Master Zheng is simply arrogant, brainless. If it weren't for the fact that there's no one available, no one would look for him. Among the martial artists in the Lotus sect, one group is absolutely loyal to the church, but the other group is arrogant, thinking that they're stronger than others. They're not afraid of this or that. Master Zheng, the Holy Messenger still wants to say something, but Master Zheng waved his hand. I've made up my mind, don't say any more. A few Chinese thieves, I can easily take care of them. What's there to be afraid of? Saying that, he put out the cigarette, I'm tired, I'm going to sleep. Master Zheng, goodbye. The holy messenger had no choice but to turn around and leave. He kept cursing in his heart, but he didn't dare to say anything. When he walked to the door, he suddenly heard Master Zheng's shout. Oh right, call a technician in later, I'm not used to sleeping alone. Got it. Not used to it, not used to it my ass. The holy messenger cursed in his heart, this idiot, why don't I kill him with AIDS? Since he's not willing to come out, the holy messenger indeed has no one else he can use. While cursing Master Zheng, the holy messenger walked back. He still had to plan how to assassinate Liang Ryu. In the next few days, Liang Ryu's security would definitely be tighter. A great opportunity was wasted just like that. When I go back, I must report this Master Zheng to the Holy Buddha. The church is too big, there are many people, good and bad. There are indeed a lot of good experts, but there are also chumas like Master Zheng. The undercurrents are surging in the imperial capital. At this time, in an RV in Hawaii, Number 9 sat inside, a few corpses lying next to him. After killing Li Fan, Number 9 felt extremely empty. He had no goal in life, wandering around, he didn't know what to do. He happened to see this RV, walked in, and decided to stay here for a few days. But the owner of the RV didn't know what's good for him, he only cared about having a party with his group of friends, and refused to give up the RV to him, so he could only send them to hell. Bang! Number 9 opened the fridge, used his fingers to open the cap of a bottle of champagne, and poured it into a glass to taste, just like what he saw on TV. It's too lonely. Number 9 shook the glass. This world is too boring, it's better to destroy it. At the same time, there were also people breaking through the ground to launch sneak attacks on Number 9. However, Number 9 was too brave and did not care about them at all. His sneak attacks were all ineffective. The water arrow attack of the woman on the surface of the water was launched repeatedly, but every time it was in front of her, it was shattered by Number 9. It seemed that no matter how fast they were, they could not escape Number 9's eyes and senses. The 5 of you do have some ability, but you are still too weak. Number 9 stood there proudly, completely unfazed by the encirclement of the 5, as if they were 5 little kids playing with him. This kind of attack of yours is nothing to me. Number 9 easily resisted the attack of the 5 Kage. He analyzed the combat effectiveness of these people and sneered, let's end it here, goodbye. Number 9 said and suddenly pierced Hokage's chest with his palm, grabbed his heart out, and crushed it in his hand. At the same time, he kicked off Kainage's head, and then broke Tsukage's hands. Kaikage and Mizukage stood far away, but Number 9's feet bounced and instantly appeared in front of Mizukage, abruptly pulled her head off, and casually threw it, smashing half of Kaikage's body. Weak, too weak. Number 9 sighed, and at this time, the 5 figures who had been knocked down slowly climbed up. They didn't know what method they used, even without their organs, they were still alive. At the same time, they walked to the front of the corpses, took off their organs, and then sewed them on their own bodies. Number 9 froze for a moment. What kind of strange kung fu is this? Your Excellency's martial arts is excellent, I really admire you. A silhouette had appeared on a tree at the side without anyone noticing. He stepped on the top of the tree and looked down at Number 9. However, I can roughly see your strength. You can't kill us, and we can't kill you. Goodbye. Hehe, want to escape after coming here? Number 9 didn't intend to let him go. He stepped on his feet and jumped 7 or 8 meters high. Suddenly, 5 water arrows flew from the lake next to him. Number 9 can only turn his head and smash these 5 water arrows. When he looked for the person on the top of the tree, he found that the other party disappeared without a trace. Then, looking back at the lake, the 5 shadows also disappeared. Damn it. Number 9 unexpectedly suffered a big loss. He was furious, fell from the sky, and stepped on the ground. The forest was immediately stomped by him, and the surrounding trees continued to collapse, as if subdued by his strength. These little devils who came to bully him actually escaped from under his hand. Number 9 was extremely angry, and even had the impulse to kill. This feeling of jealousy and displeasure drove his body. Number 9's feet bounced, quickly heading toward the direction of the city. Only killing could appease his anger. Windsor was a typical American girl. She had long blonde hair, a beautiful face, and a hot figure. She, who had just graduated from university, entered a TV station in Tell City with excellent grades and became a reporter. Although her boss repeatedly warned Windsor not to investigate the biggest local gang, the Lester family, Windsor was not afraid of the tiger. But Windsor was like a newborn calf that was not afraid of a tiger. She thought that as a journalist, she should risk her life to expose these vermin of the US. What kind of family was the Lester family? A famous underworld follower. These people not only controlled the underground world of Tell City, but also relied on their family's money relations to influence the government management of Tell City. She heard that a while ago, under their influence, Tell City actually cancelled 2 public community clinics to reduce the government's investment in this area. What nonsense! These people had begun to treat human life as grass for the sake of money. She heard that they had a drug deal tonight. Windsor was ready to find out the facts of their crimes and let the people of Tell City, and even the whole American, see the true ugly face of the Lester family. Windsor endured the humidity and heat, wearing a black jacket, and hid in the warehouse of the dock. She held a camera in her hand, waiting for the main characters to appear. Her boss told Windsor that there were no heroes in Tell City, let alone justice. If she wanted to survive, she had to associate with the evil here. Windsor didn't believe it. She must prove it to those people. At this moment, the sound of a car came from a distance. Windsor was refreshed. A good show was about to begin. Chapter 1563. Even Windsor, who had a sense of heroism, began to feel nervous at this moment. After all, it was the biggest gang, the Lester family. If they found her, she would be finished. Losing her life might be a small matter. Maybe she would be raped and then killed, or sold to a brothel. The Lester family was powerful. In Tell City, there was nothing they couldn't do. Be careful, I must be very careful. Windsor reminded herself many times in her heart that she must not make any mistakes. She hid in the dark, secretly took out the camera, and filmed the scene outside. At this time, on the dock, the people of the Lester family were meeting with the people of another family. Through the night vision camera, Windsor clearly saw the clothes of the other party. They were all wearing blue and black jeans. They didn't seem to belong to any family in Tell City. Windsor suddenly understood that these people were the notorious Mexican drug trafficking family, Blue Cowboy. The drugs they released were also called Crazy Cowboy. The drug purity was very high, so it was very popular in the market. It was said that these Mexican drug lords were also very cruel. Countless people died in their hands. There were colleagues and even the police. Many years had passed, but no one could deal with these drug lords. Even the police had a headache with them. The Lester family actually traded drugs with the Crazy Cowboy in Mexico. This time, as long as she got the evidence, they would be doomed. Hee, Lester family, your end is here. I will let the whole world know your ugly face and the fact of your crimes. As long as the Lester family's conspiracy was exposed, then Tell City would restore its former peace and tranquility. The two families were trading. Windsor recorded and didn't forget to take a few photos. But when she pressed the camera, the click instantly attracted the attention of a drug lord. He immediately turned back and saw the red dot next to him. He instantly understood and began to curse. Damn, how dare you betray us? Not us, it's the reporter. The Lester family was not stupid. He and the drug lords pulled out their guns. Both sides decided to catch the reporter first. Windsor was naturally frightened. She looked back and found that she had forgotten one thing. That was, she forgot to design an escape route. Was it really over this time? Windsor was a little desperate. She thought she was really dead. But at this moment, a figure suddenly descended from the sky. He was alone, and like a god, he descended between the two groups of people. Who is it? The members of the Lester family raised their pistols, submachine guns, and shotguns. The drug dealers were all armed with carbines, and all of their muzzles were aimed at the man descending from the sky. In Windsor's camera, the man's appearance became clear. He seemed to have an Asian face, a well-proportioned body, wearing a black coat, and his body was stained with blood. Only to see a fish from the Lester family was pointing a gun at the woman's head, and then viciously said to number 9, "Surrender immediately, or I'll kill this woman." Number 9 smiled. Windsor also smiled, which surprised number 9. "You can't kill me." Although Windsor screamed because of the sneak attack earlier, she had seen number 9's invincible might. At this time, she was very shocked. "He's a real hero. He won't give you a chance to kill me. If you surrender now, you can still keep your life." "Less nonsense." The thug squeezed Windsor's neck, wishing to strangle her. He continued to roar at number 9, "If you want her to live, do as I say." "Did you misunderstand something?" Number 9 crossed his arms, standing on top of the truck, looking at the two people in the distance. "I don't even know her, why should I care about her life?" Chapter 1564. Hearing this, most of the hostages would be in despair. But Windsor was very happy. The hero was really smart. He knew how to use this method to make the Lester family careless. A hero with a brain was really good. Seeing Windsor's encouraging eyes, number 9 was a little confused. What did this mean? Could it be that this girl wanted to die? This was also possible. After all, if she didn't want to die, why would she come to this place? Cut the crap. "I won't believe you." The thug roared, "Quickly surrender, or I'll kill her." "Stupid." As number 9 spoke, she kicked a small stone with her foot. That small stone instantly turned into a flash of light. With a bang, it brought out a red and white object and actually pierced that thug's head. Windsor was shocked. The thug was killed and he didn't even react. Number 9 stood there as if nothing happened. She just patted the dust on her clothes. These people were too weak. Although she vented her anger, she still felt that it wasn't enough. In this world, she was already invincible. It was really too lonely. Number 9 sighed slightly and then prepared to leave. At this moment, Windsor rushed out and blocked in front of number 9. Number 9 frowned. Was this woman really looking for death? Who would have thought that Windsor picked up the camera and took all kinds of photos directly at number 9? That flash made number 9 close his eyes. A surge of anger arose spontaneously. Number 9 was about to get angry when Windsor said, "Hero, you're simply too awesome." "Hero?" Number 9 looked at Windsor's delicate face. Unknowingly, his anger subsided a little. He crossed his arms and smiled coldly. "I've said before, I'm not a hero." "No, you're a hero. A real hero." Windsor's face was full of excitement. She even went forward and grabbed number 9's arm. Number 9 wanted to break free, but seeing Windsor's weak body, he subconsciously stopped. "What are you doing? Are you looking for death?" "I'm very grateful to you, really." Windsor was too excited. "These people are the scum of our Tell City, scum, cancer. All along, the police didn't dare to touch them, making them more and more arrogant and lawless. I've been waiting for a hero for a long time, all the way until you appeared. I'm just passing by." Number 9 reminded Windsor, "I'm not the hero you think I am. These people are purely unlucky to have fallen into my hands. No matter what, your ability is there." Windsor insisted on her view, "You must be the messenger sent by God to save us." "God? What is God?" Number 9 raised a question. When he was created, he had a lot of scientific knowledge. But the scientist who created him did not indoctrinate him with information about religion. God is a great existence, the symbol of the world. Windsor was also searching for her own words. God created us. God created us. Then, who created me? Number 9 pondered for a moment. Regarding some philosophical questions, he might not be able to understand them in a short period of time. These questions are very profound. I'll explain them to you later. You saved me. Can I interview you? Windsor was still excited. I know, this is not a suitable place. Let's choose a restaurant. I will treat you to dinner as a reward. How about it? Not interested. Number 9 turned around and left. Hey, don't go. I know many people don't like to be interviewed, but please respect my career and dream. Windsor was unwilling to give up and chased after her. Dream. Although number 9 was still walking, she seemed to slow down her pace, giving Windsor enough strength to catch up. What's a dream? It's a beautiful idea of the future. Windsor looked at number 9 strangely. Are you really sent by God? You don't even know this. Probably. Number 9 didn't know how to describe her identity. I was born, not long ago. You're really amazing. It's my honor to meet you. Windsor is like a happy little sparrow. She can't stop for a minute. Please accept my interview. It won't take up too much of your time. Then tell me first, what is your dream? Number 9 was suddenly very interested. Anyway, she didn't know what to do. She was so bored that she might as well kill time. Looking at this blonde girl, she seemed to be quite interesting. My dream is to be an excellent reporter, to record the truest side of Tell City and even the United States, so that the people can deeply understand our country and love our country. It's really a small dream. Number 9 thought for a long time and finally came up with such a word. After all, I'm just an ordinary person. How can I be compared with a hero like you? Windsor wasn't angry, but instead asked number 9, then, what is your dream? To eradicate evil or to enforce justice? Number 9 was stunned for a moment. What was his justice? He really didn't know. He seemed to have never thought about this question. In the past, he just hoped to leave the place where he was imprisoned. Later, he hoped to kill all the people like him. Now, he seemed to have no goal in life, and he didn't know what to do. Number 9 fell into a strange thinking circle. He was really confused by this little girl's question. Dream? What dream do I have? Although this blonde girl's dream was small, it was still a dream. And even if he was invincible, he didn't seem to have any desire to survive. I know that your dream must be very grand. It's definitely not something that people like us can imagine. Windsor took the initiative to choose for number 9. Please let me interview you. You will definitely become this country's hero and become the idol of the people. Why should I become a hero? Number 9 retorted, isn't it great to live the way I am now? More freedom. Of course it's not the same. After all, we are different. People like me are working hard to uphold justice, let alone you who has great power. We have a saying here, the greater the power, the greater the responsibility. Responsibility or whatever, it has nothing to do with me. Number 9 didn't know why, but he decided to remind this blonde girl, as long as I make a move, I can destroy this city. You're too humorous. If you wanted to destroy this city, you would have done it long ago. Windsor began to talk to herself. Moreover, even if you destroy this city, what benefit would it bring to you? Chapter 1565. Number 9 was stunned by the question. That's right, if I destroy this place, what's in it for me? It's just a waste of energy. I also don't know, what's there to do? Number 9 felt that this blonde girl was simply here to torture him. Every question left him with no energy to answer. Since that's the case, why not be a hero? The blonde girl pulled number 9's wrist. Become a true hero, protect this place. Protect justice, how about that? What's in it for me? Number 9 asked directly. I can get a lot. Windsor thought for a moment and then said, being worshipped by everyone and protecting the city, you should be happy, right? Just like me, the thought of exposing the Lester family's crimes and letting the people know their true ugly face, I can't help but be excited. You're really easily moved. Number 9 sighed, if that's the case, why not give it a try? Do you promise me? Windsor was abnormally excited. Then hero, where do you live? I'm not a hero, I'm number 9. Number 9 said coldly, moreover, I don't have a fixed residence. A wanderer? Yes, You can live wherever you want. Number 9 coldly snorted, if anyone dares to disobey, I will kill him. No, no, this isn't what a hero should do. Windsor felt that number 9 was a new hero and still had a lot to teach him. Thus, she decided on her own, how about this, from today onwards, you will live at my house. I will teach you how to be a true hero. I can promise you. Number 9 crossed her arms, but if I get tired of it, I will kill you and leave. Hee, being a hero is infinitely fun. How can you get tired of it? Windsor laughed happily. How could she not be happy about such a dreamlike thing? Oh great God, you must be the one who sent him to me. Windsor clasped her hands with a pious face. You believe in God that much? Number 9 finally couldn't help but ask. Yes, after all, God created us. According to your culture, according to the theory of evolution, shouldn't humans evolve from apes? Humph, the theory of evolution is pseudoscience. Windsor snorted, in short, you are the best gift that God has given me. Unfortunately, it wasn't Christmas today. Let's just treat it as an early holiday. Come on, let's go home, said Windsor. She went to the roadside and opened the door of a car. Looking at the grey truck parked in front of her, number 9 felt a headache coming on. Do I have to take a car? If I let you fly around in the air, it would be too high profile. Windsor grabbed number 9's hand and dragged him to the car. As a hero, the first lesson I have to teach you is to keep a low profile. All right. For some unknown reason, number 9 fell for Windsor's trick. Led by Windsor, he sits in the truck obediently. Ever since number 9 was born, she had never sat in a car before. Today was the first time. Hero, is this your first time in Tell City? I told you, I'm not a hero. Number 9 emphasized, I am number 9. All right, number 9. Windsor hurriedly changes her words, is this your first time in Tell City? Yes. Number 9 nodded. He was just walking around casually and came here. Then where were you born? In a laboratory in Los Angeles. Thinking of the past, number 9 was expressionless. Laboratory? You're so humorous. Windsor laughed. She felt that this hero was really mysterious. In the car, she said a lot of trivial things to number 9. But number 9 seemed to be a little annoyed. He crossed his arms, leaned against the seat, closed his eyes, and turned a deaf ear to her words. Windsor thought to herself that the hero might be a little tired. She'd better not disturb his rest. So, Windsor finally stopped for a while. She concentrated on driving. Occasionally, she peeked at number 9 and felt satisfied. More than half an hour later, Windsor finally drove to her home. In number 9's impression, Windsor's house should be a 2-story villa or something. In many cities in the United States, there were quite a lot of such houses. After all, the United States had a large land area, but its population was much smaller than that of a huge country like China. But Windsor led number 9 to an apartment building. She took him to the seat on the 10th floor, opened the door and walked in. This should be a rental house. The house was a little messy. The ground was littered with garbage, including Windsor's underwear, everywhere. The room was not big, about 40 or 50 square meters. Because there was too much garbage, it seemed very crowded. I'm sorry, Windsor blushed, I usually live alone, so I didn't clean it much. I'll call the housekeeper to come and have them clean it up. Humph. Number 9 waved her hand, and a strong wind set off in the house, blowing the garbage in front of her to the sides. A large area of the house was cleaned up, and it seemed to be a lot cleaner. Ah, so convenient. Windsor couldn't help but clap, if only I knew how to do it. Unfortunately, I can't teach you. Number 9 shook her head, my strength is innate. I can't teach you. It doesn't matter. You have the strength. You can sit anywhere and make it your own home. Windsor said as she stuffed her leopard print bra under the pillow of the sofa. Is this a place where people live? Number 9 frowned. Aya, this is home. Come, you take a rest first. Then we'll talk about your first step to becoming a hero. Is it so complicated to become a hero? How many steps are there? Of course, dreams have to be taken one step at a time. Windsor took out a pen and paper, Especially the first step, it's very important. You can't be sloppy. What's the first step? Clothes. Windsor's serious look made number 9 a little speechless. I have to choose clothes when I go out to fight. Number 9 pointed at the coat she was wearing. I just got this from someone a few days ago. It fits me pretty well. You're a hero, not a robber. You can't rob others, and you can't wear this kind of stolen goods. Windsor gently knocked her forehead. Ari, I'll teach you bit by bit. As a hero, you have to have tights that represent your identity. For example, Superman, blue underpants, red cape, and a big S on the chest. This is the symbol. It feels like a stupid cunt. Looking at Windsor opening a picture of Superman, number 9 immediately rejected it. What kind of pervert can wear underwear outside? This is a design from a long time ago. Don't worry, I have a better design. You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.